Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 1, Channel
Hello and welcome to Andersen Sports Live. I'm Claire Magsman, joined alongside Jack. Well, my co-star Jack Crumley is supposed to be here, but as you can see, he's nowhere to be found.
Sorry I'm late, Claire. I got here as fast as I could. I was running a little late due to the Boston Marathon I ran this morning. But don't worry, I finished miles ahead of all the other runners just so I could make the show.
Jack, I'd be surprised if you could run back and forth without being out of breath around the studio.
All right, Claire, fair enough. I have always been more of a short distance runner.
Oh, gotcha. All right, well, let's head to the actual runners today at the Boston Marathon. Today, both American men and women dominated the marathon. Desiree Linden, a Michigan native, became the first American woman to win the marathon since 1985. The 34-year-old overcame her heartbreak in 2011 when she placed second in the marathon by 2 seconds. Linden competed in the 2012 and 2016 Olympics, where she placed 7th. She won today with an unofficial time of 2 hours, 39 minutes, and 54 seconds. 7 American women placed in the top 10 spots. Linden told NBC Sports, "I love this city, I love this race, this course. It's storybook, so I'm thrilled to be here and get it done."
On the men's side, Yuki Kawachi of Japan took home first place, overtaking last year's winner Jeffrey Kuri of Kenya in the final miles. Kawachi was the first Japanese man to win the Boston Marathon since 1987. All of the runners were forced to run in less than ideal conditions as rain poured down and the wind held all morning and into the afternoon. When asked about the running conditions, Kawachi jokingly said, "For me, these are the best conditions possible."
And now let's head from the course to the track. The 8th race of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series took the banks of the last great Coliseum yesterday at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brad Keselowski dominated the first 204 laps yesterday before the Mother Nature ended the day. The race resumed this afternoon and Kyle Larson had the early advantage before losing the lead to Keselowski before the sweep of the first 2 stages. Larson held the lead until the final 6 laps when Kyle Busch moved him out of the way to take his 2nd straight win in the series and his 7th win at the track. The top 5 was rounded out by Kyle Larson in 2nd, Jimmy Johnson in 3rd, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 4th, and Alex Bauman in 5th. Stages 1 and 2 winner Brad Keselowski finished 23rd after cutting a tire late in the race.
The NBA playoffs were in full swing this weekend, so let's take a look at 2 of the best games from each conference. Now let's head over to the Eastern Conference.
All right, here we have Milwaukee and Boston. The Greek Freak putting up 2 points early to come within 2, and now it's late in the first half, and Marcus Morris with that extra point, getting excited, really wanting to win. And now we're at the end of the 4th quarter. There's 4 seconds left, and Terry Rozier III puts it up to put Boston, give him the extra 3. You think this game is over with only 0.5 seconds left, but you're wrong. Chris Middleton has the 3 from downtown and nails it. That whole Boston crowd has no idea what's going on. They're shocked, but see, sadness there. But they still have Terry Rozier putting it up, and instead he passes it to Jason Tatum to give him 2 to put Boston up within 3. There's only 1:22 left, and Boston does close this one out. The Garden excited, Rozier hugging there, Tatum excited. 107 to 113 Boston.
Ben Simmons and company riding a 15-game win streak will pick it up late in the first quarter with Goran Dragic and Kelly Olynyk running the pick and roll to perfection as Olynyk gets the hoop and the harm. Later in the quarter, and again, guess who? Olynyk for 3. He would go on to finish with a team-high 26 points, and it was a big reason for the Heat's early success. Under 1.5 minutes left in the first quarter, Ben Simmons collects the loose ball, and no one's going to step in front of that man. And again, it's Ben Simmons dribbling the ball and just going one-on-one and finishing with the hoop. And now we'll hit it, and J.J. Redick wants in on the action. Redick finished with a game-high 26 points. As Philadelphia expands their lead. And here, We have a desperation three that expands the lead even further, and Embiid loves it, as you can see. And as you can see, Philadelphia wins their first playoff game since May 23rd, 2012. And now we have the Trailblazers and the Pelicans. And the Pelicans, Anthony Davis finishes with a monstrous dunk. And here's C.J. McCollum, who is the man most of the day, as he finishes in the lane. And later, McCollum dishing to, and they get the three there. And now we've got the Trailblazers, and guess who? Anthony Davis again with the finish and the harm, as he'll go to the line and cap off three-point play. And Anthony Davis making them look like boys with the one-handed slam. New Orleans takes the 86-72 lead. But again, the Trailblazers would not go away, and that McCollum hits the three to close it, and again in the corner to make a one-point ball game with just under a minute left. Portland with the ball and down by three, and he says no thank you, and Anthony Davis is able to corral the rebound, and the Pelicans are able to hold on, their first playoff win since 2011.
And now we head to Minnesota at Houston. James Harden and Jimmy Butler. James Harden showing early why he is in the talks for the MVP, putting Houston up 11-3, and now it's closer, 27-32, but Derrick Rose says, I'm still here, and he proves that he still can play and he can still make those buckets. He tries again, but this time he is denied and blocked. Harden takes it down the court, and they got that bucket there. The Houston crowd excited, even though they are only up 2. Later in the second half, James Harden again, another three. He just doesn't stop. And again, in the fourth quarter, another three with 4:30 left to go. 1:29 left. Andrew Wiggins still playing hard, making this game. And Jimmy Butler takes it down the court with 4 seconds left, shoots and misses. Houston has this game 101-104. And that Houston crowd excited, pumped. They'll be ready to go on Wednesday.
We're going to take a break here on Andersen Sports Live, but stick around to find out if our roundtable analysts think James Harden has the MVP award all but locked up.
The historic Haymarket, a beautiful place just west of downtown Lincoln, home of the exciting Pinnacle Bank Arena and a rich history. The Haymarket's history starts shortly after Lincoln's founding, when Lincoln was a busy hub for trains filled with traders and merchants. But now, Lincoln has a new rail yard that's filled with people looking for food, drinks, or fun. The Haymarket is loaded with restaurants and fun for everyone. What are you waiting for? Go visit lincolnhaymarket.org/events to find out what's happening today.
East Campus is for students who want an education outside of the classroom. We have art, agriculture, fashion, food science, law, dentistry, and a lot of trees, all of which are housed just on the corner of 33rd and Holdridge. Grab an ice cream cone at our dairy store or take a stroll through our gardens while you're here. Want to make it legit? Visit us at casnr.unl.edu to reserve a tour soon.
A lot of high school students would ask, why should I go to UNL? Well, why did Johnny Carson of The Tonight Show fame go to UNL? Why did multi-billionaire businessman Warren Buffett go to UNL? Why did people of such great fame and success go to UNL? Simple, because these are people that wanted to be successful. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, you too can begin your own success story. After all, if people like this can achieve national recognition and who came to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, then so can you.
Welcome back to Andersen Sports Live. The NBA postseason is underway, which means it's time for the NBA's MVP candidates to take their games to a new level. To discuss who is going to take home the prestigious MVP award, we'll send it up to Grace Harmon and the Roundtable.
Thanks, Clara. We're here at the Roundtable, and I'm alongside Silas Brown and Gabriel Vegas, our analysts for the day. And guys, the NBA playoffs are obviously in full swing. Spent the entire weekend on my couch watching. It was a good time.
We did too.
But we obviously now have the MVP race to talk about. And I'd say there are two front runners, James Harden and LeBron James, that have kind of stolen the show this year. And I bet we could argue about this all day, but I'd love to hear what you have to think. Who is your pick, Silas?
Well, fear fear the beard. James Harden is my MVP this year, guys. If it wasn't for Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double last year, he would have won it last year. But the Rockets, they have the best record in the league. James Harden, he's averaging 30 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. He's the best isolation player in the NBA.
Look at that step back right there.
Yeah. He's had a whole bunch of MVP-defining moments this year. One, when he crossed over Wes Johnson. Looked at him falling down, just stared at him, real silly.
About 3 seconds.
Yeah, and then just drained the jump shots just to complete the deal. But like I said, he had a huge game last night, 44 points in the Game 1 win. To help solidify his MVP case this year, I think he's deserving this year.
All right.
Look, I agree. James Harden is a great player, probably one of the best. Probably one of the best in this season. But I don't know if you heard of this guy, LeBron James.
Who?
He's LeBron James. Yeah, you might know him. 33 years old, 15th season in the league. And he's just been, his first time has played all 82 career regular season games in his career. He's been averaging 27.5 points a game, which is absolutely insane. It's the best mark since 2009. 9.1 assists, 8.6 rebounds, both their best career marks. So LeBron is just like, even he has a team that's in the 4th seed, results haven't been as good, but still, a lot of analysts still predict the Cavs and LeBron in the NBA finals, or at least in the conference finals. So it's just insane what he can do with this team.
It's hard to argue against both
It
of
is.
these
It is. It is
candidates,
hard to argue against both.
Especially, I think, LeBron James. He's 33 years old, and he's having his best season. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just insane.
It is.
So MVP, most valuable player, is what it stands for, obviously. Do you think when the NBA is voting for the MVP candidates, on the MVP candidates, are they voting on the best player or the most valuable player? I think there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, look, if they were to vote for the best player, they would vote for LeBron James every year, since he's has been in the league. But I think Silas agrees with that, and that they try to vote on who was the best player in that particular season, and that has helped this team and the league overall to make, the best performance they can have. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you agree with
LeBron,
that.
he's put expectations on himself where we demand this from him. We expect him to put up these type of numbers. But this year, he's been doing it all like always. But I gotta give the hedge to James Harden this year.
So if the NBA was voting for the most valuable player to each specific team, do you think we would have some dark horses kind of more so in the race?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Who do we have?
Yeah, Silas talks a lot about Damian Lillard, who's a great guy. I mean, we're going to see him a little bit. He's just like, on the left there on the graphic. Silas, you can talk more about him.
Yeah, Dame, he's been phenomenal this year. He's guided their team to the 3 spot in the playoffs. Without him, they're easily like in the lottery in the draft. But yeah, he's been making big time shots. He's in the 3rd seed. He's easily been one of the top 3-point guys in the NBA, both offensively, and he's even picked up his defense this year too.
Anybody else?
Anthony Davis from the New Orleans Pelicans. Like, he's been leading the league with 725 2-point field goals. That's the best mark in the league. 193 blocks, which averages to 2.6 blocks a game, which is insane. Yeah, Anthony Davis, I mean, he's playing for the Pelicans, not one of the top teams in the NBA, but still has made them to their first playoff win last night. So Davis is just an insane
Ever
player.
since DeMarcus Cousins went down, he had to pick up his production. He's been doing that.
So it's kind of fun to know there could be other options besides just James Harden and LeBron James.
Exactly.
But, I mean, it's going to be fun to see this unfold in the next couple of weeks. But for now, that is all we have time for in this segment of the Roundtable. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. Another player that is taking his game up a notch in the postseason is Victor Oladipo. For more on this newfound Pacer star, let's send it to our expert analyst, Colby Becker.
Thanks, Jack and Claire. So I'm here to deep dive into the NBA a little bit. NBA playoffs started this weekend. One of the big surprises was the Pacers and Victor Oladipo taking down the Cavs and LeBron James in Cleveland in Game 1. LeBron James' team is favored to go back to the finals this year again, but the Pacers had a little bit of give them more than they could handle there. So here we're going to look at Victor Oladipo himself. So Victor Oladipo on this play here, he comes down and gives a little slight hesitation there on that play, causing George Hill to step back with his right foot. This gives Oladipo all the space he needs between them right now to pull up for 3 here. So he takes that shot. It's a good open shot. It goes in. Now, on this one, Oladipo is going to come off the screen down here from the bottom to the screen set by Domantas Sabonis up here and get the pass from Corey Joseph. When we pause it here, Larry Nance of the Cavs is still standing at the elbow, giving Victor Oladipo about 6 feet of room. Victor Oladipo can take this shot. He's shooting 37% from 3 this year, career high. Hits that one too, wide open, uncontested 3. Then next, on our next one, he's isolated against Larry Nance, a big man who can't stay with the guard. Now, Victor Oladipo shot about 73% around the rim this year, which is first among guards and 5th overall in the NBA. So Larry Nance is retreating on him because he's concerned about that. Victor Oladipo then pulls up from the mid-range because as soon as he gets inside the three-point line, Larry Nance is thinking, oh, he's going to the rim, he's going to the rim. Since he didn't pull up for 3, he's going to the rim. Oladipo decides to pull up from the mid-range instead there. And these kind of things for the Cavs defense they cannot do if they want to get back to the finals. Playing against guards like Curry of the Warriors or Harden of the Rockets in the Western Conference, if they make it to the finals, are better players and better shooters than Oladipo is. So this is the kind of thing that they cannot afford to do defensively if they want to make it back to the finals. Thanks, guys. We'll send it back up to you.
Thanks, Colby. When we come back, we are going to discuss hockey, baseball, and even some golf. Do not go anywhere.
It's your first stop on campus. It's your helping hand. It's a place to study, a place to eat, and a place to plan. The NCARD office, career services, student affairs center, a multicultural center, food, and even Greek affairs.
Wait, did you mention food?
Yes, but we have a lot of other stuff too. Come check it out at the Union.
It's our union.
This is the nation's biggest multicultural center attached to a union. There's space to interact, study, and create. We're home to dozens of cultures, majors, and interests. We are home to all underrepresented students. And here, there's always room for you. Located on the east side of the UNL City Campus Union, find your home away from home. Find us at the Jackie Gunn Multicultural Center.
At the Outdoor Adventure Center, you'll find activities for everyone, from canoeing to kayaking to rock climbing. Everyone can get involved, but if you want to find them, you probably have to look up. The Outdoor Adventure Center isn't something you can really define. It's a culture built through experiences. Take a class with us. Go on a trip with us. We're open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come move with us. Come adventure with us. You just have to experience it.
The first round of the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs has seen every team playing their first 2 games, while some have played 3 in their inaugural season. The Las Vegas Golden Knights have glided through the playoffs by taking the first 3 games of the series against the Los Angeles Kings and needing just one more to advance. In other Western Conference playoff matchups, the Winnipeg Jets lead the series 2-1 over the Minnesota Wild. Meanwhile, the Nashville Predators are up 2-0 over the Colorado Avalanche after winning both games in comeback fashion. And finally, the San Jose Sharks lead the series over the Anaheim Ducks to 2-0.
On the east side, only one series has seen 3 games played as the Pittsburgh Penguins have taken a 2-1 lead over their in-state rival, the Philadelphia Flyers. Other series in the Eastern Conference has the Tampa Bay Lightning up 2-0 over the New Jersey Devils. The Boston Bruins have a 2-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. The 4th series in the East has seen the Washington Capitals blow consecutive 2-goal leads as the Columbus Blue Jackets take a 2-0 lead. Tonight's games will feature Nashville traveling to Colorado to take on the Avalanche and Anaheim skating over to San Jose. In the East, Boston travels to Toronto and Tampa Bay heads to the East Coast to take on the New Jersey Devils. Clayton Kershaw was the star of the show Sunday afternoon for the Los Angeles Dodgers. On Jackie Robinson Day, all of baseball honored the Dodger great by wearing the number 42. The pitcher struck out 12 Arizona hitters, ending the Dodgers' 3-game losing streak and handed Arizona their first loss in the series. He allowed only 2 hits and no walks. The Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks 7-2. See there, lights out.
Bartolo Colon put on a show on the mound Sunday night as the Texas Rangers took on the Astros. The 44-year-old pitcher cruised through 7 perfect innings, but ended after a leadoff walk by Carlos Correa and a Josh Reddick double. The Rangers did end up winning the game 3-1. After the first few weeks of the season in Major League Baseball, the top 5 records in the American League are the Boston Red Sox, led by first-year manager Alex Correa at 13-2 on the season. Following behind them are the Los Angeles Angels, highlighted by Shohei Ohtani at 12-3. Third in the AL is defending world champion, the Houston Astros, at 10-6 so far in the short season. Fourth are the Toronto Blue Jays at 9-5. And rounding out the top 5 in the American League is the Seattle Mariners at 8-5.
The National League is highlighted by the New York Mets at 12-2. Second in the league is currently a tie between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Philadelphia Phillies are sitting in fourth place, and rounding out the top 5 in the National League are the St. Louis Cardinals. The RBC Heritage was played this past weekend at Harbor Town Golf Links in Hilton Head, South Carolina. The tournament took place just 1 week after the Masters' dramatic finish. Korean Sai Woo Kim came into the day 6 shots back before shooting a 66 to force a playoff with Japan's Satoshi Kodaira. The playoff went 3 holes before Kodaira drilled a 25-foot birdie putt to take his first PGA Tour victory.
Coming up after the break, we'll send it back up to Grace in the roundtable. Stay with us.
The historic Haymarket, a beautiful place just west of downtown Lincoln, home of the exciting Pinnacle Bank Arena and a rich history. The Haymarket's history starts shortly after Lincoln's founding, when Lincoln was a busy hub for trains filled with traders and merchants. But now, Lincoln has a new rail yard that's filled with people looking for food, drinks, or fun. The Haymarket is loaded with restaurants and fun for everyone. What are you waiting for? Go visit lincolnhaymarket.org/events to find out what's happening today.
East Campus is for students who want an education outside of the classroom. We have art, agriculture, fashion, food science, law, dentistry, and a lot of trees, all of which are housed just on the corner of 33rd and Holdridge. Grab an ice cream cone at our dairy store or take a stroll through our gardens while you're here. Want to make it legit? Visit us at casnr.unl.edu to reserve a tour soon.
A lot of high school students would ask, why should I go to UNL? Well, why did Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show fan, go to UNL? Why did multi-billionaire businessman Warren Buffett go to UNL? Why did people of such great fame and success go to UNL? Simple, because these are people that wanted to be successful. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, you too can begin your own success story. After all, if people like this can achieve national recognition and who came from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, then so can you.
Welcome back to Andersen Sports Live. I'm your host of the Roundtable, Grace Harmon, alongside Gabriel and Silas. All right, guys, so we're going to do something a little bit different in this segment. There's obviously kind of a lot of things going on in the world of sports, whether it's basketball, football, golf, baseball, everything. And I just kind of want to hear your thoughts on some of these major topics that kind of are taking headlines lately. And the first one I want to talk about is the NCAA transfer rule. Right now, the NCAA committee is deciding if a player who transfers from one four-year university to another is immediately eligible to play or not. There's a couple rules. They have to be academically eligible. They have to be granted a transfer release from their previous school. And then a waiver must be granted by the NCAA that says they can play. What do you guys think? Is this a good idea? Should they be allowed to do this?
Yeah, look, I mean, right now, how it is, like, imagine if you just had a great season and then you transfer to another school to get a higher level of play, and then it makes no sense. You have to sit out a year and stop your momentum. Or, for example, if a player gets recruited by a coach and then he goes to that school because of that coach, and that coach leaves, it makes no sense for him to, not be able to transfer again. So that, that's my thought on it.
I'm right on the lines with you there, man. Like, players build relationships with these coaches, and to find out your coach is not going to be at the school you're going to play basketball for, it changes your whole mindset. Of course, you're not going to be wanting to attend that school.
Exactly.
You're going to be wanting to be eligible somewhere else as soon as possible.
And I think you're right, guys, but there is a fine line also that I think, need to realize. There's a difference between following a coach and being recruited by a coach, and if that coach leaves. I think the NCAA kind of needs to determine these on a case-by-case basis. All right, so moving on to the next one real quick. Baseball, Major League Baseball. It started on March 29th this year. Is that too early?
Well, yeah, we had I think that's too early. I don't know what you think, Silas, but the main thing is the weather. You have 162 games in the regular season, and just so far we had 21 postponed games this season in just 2.5 weeks on the season. It's the baseball's highest number through the end of April since it had 26 in 2007, and then we have still a couple of weeks to go in April, so I think it's just starting too early. I don't know what you think.
Well, it starts early, but we have to give it a little give and take there. You don't want the playoffs being so cold where you're not gonna get the best baseball.
Because it goes in October.
Yeah, if we start baseball, say in June, playoffs ain't gonna start till like December, and
that's gonna be cold as well.
Yeah. So we have to give or take. You know what I mean? So there's a fine line between that.
I think there's also, it's just a really long season, but that's a topic for another day. Well, we've also been talking a lot about the NBA today. We talked about it in our first segment. And over this past season, there's been a lot of occurrences of NBA players and NBA referees not getting along. Yeah. Where is this stemming from? What are some of the issues?
Well, there's been a lot of flopping issues this year. I think the league was trying to crack down on flopping I think a year ago. They were going to find people if they did excessive amount of flopping. But I guess the players didn't flop as much this year, which they kind of just took away that rule. But I haven't really seen much of it.
I mean, we also had a lot of traveling issues and players just, going, and that's a thing that the NBA does a lot, is that if, for example, you're going for a dunk, see, for example, that Ben Simmons over there, he just takes 4 steps, and he just does it because of the show, and they allowed that. I don't know if that's, that's a thing we might discuss later in some more extent, but I think it's just a fine line there.
And what is a foul nowadays? You see LeBron James going to the hole all day, he doesn't get the calls like he
on the
should.
perimeter. Out of the perimeter, if I do this is a foul. But if I go inside and I do this, it's not a foul. So there's really a different, kind of take in there. I don't know what it should be.
I think you're right. There's a lot of things where those issues are stemming from. But like I said, that is all we have time for today on this segment of the Roundtable. We'll send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Grace. I mean, it's crazy now how the weather's changing all these games and changing the outcomes and postponing games. I mean, it's horrible.
It's horrible, yeah. It should not be snowing in mid-April.
No, it shouldn't. You're right.
It's those Midwestern teams. They're having to play home series, but then they're just getting canceled, so the only series the fans are getting to see are away, and maybe some of those aren't on TV, so it's kind of tragic for the fans as well.
It is, and I got a notification before we started airing that the Kansas City and Blue Jays game got postponed as well, so there's another one we can add to the list.
Well, my Royals probably weren't going to win anyway,
no, they weren't, you're right.
All right, well, we've got 2 NBA games tonight I'm going to get your take on.
Okay.
So the first game we have is Miami and Philadelphia. Who do you got there?
Oh, Philadelphia all the way. I trust in the process. The process is working, so I'm excited to watch tonight, even though he's not playing.
Yeah, I like their youth there. I'm going to take Philadelphia as well. And then the other game, San Antonio, Golden State. Who do you got there?
I mean, I do love San Antonio, but I just don't see anyone getting past Golden State unless it's James Harden in Houston. I mean, even without Steph Curry, they're still so dominant.
And San Antonio is without Kawhi Leonard, so
exactly.
I think that's also a key to the game.
Exactly.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm going to go train for next year's Boston Marathon.
Yeah, you better start now because it's going to take a while.
I'll see you.
Bye. That's all we have time for on Andersen Sports Live. I'm Claire Beck.